So you're trying to quit porn, but you go out to see a movie with your friends, and in the movie, unexpectedly, a sex scene comes up. Is that a relapse? I get loads of questions like this. People ask me about all kinds of scenarios and whether or not something counts as a relapse. Now, I could try to go through every scenario I've been asked about and give an answer for each, but the list would probably never end. So instead, I want to equip you with the tools to figure it out for yourself. And actually, there's an interesting lesson in this that can help you in beating porn addiction. So let's think about that scenario. You go to see a movie with your friends, a lovemaking scene comes up, maybe the actress takes her top off even, and you go, uh-oh, is this a relapse? And it makes sense to ask this question, but also, even though there's some similarities to porn here, it is a very different scenario. So you're in public, you're watching a movie, the whole thing probably only lasts a few seconds, it's very tastefully shot. This is clearly not the same as being at home and jerking off to porn. So the simple answer would be no, this is not a relapse. And there's also an important point I want to make here. Watching a movie like this, seeing a scene like that, seeing an actress's breasts for 5 seconds is not going to do any harm to you. Porn addiction can be really, really destructive, and trying to quit can be very difficult. But we have to make sure not to associate everything sexual with the harms of porn addiction. Sexual and erotic things in themselves are not terrible or dangerous. It is the habit, the addiction, and the constant escalation that comes with porn that makes it harmful. So again, the simple answer is don't panic. This is not pornography. This is not a relapse. But unfortunately, it's not always that simple. And here's the valuable lesson we can extract out of this question. See, addiction is a tricky bastard. And you can imagine that there is essentially an addict self part of you who desperately wants to go back to watching porn, even if the more conscious part of you has decided to quit. And this addict self part of you will try to cheat and trick and negotiate and do anything possible to get you back to porn. And that's why the movie scene I described before is by itself not a relapse, but it could be a trigger that eventually leads you to a relapse. There's one telltale sign of when this is happening: the feeling that you want and need more. So maybe you go home and you search for the movie title and you look through image results and accidentally you see a picture from that nude scene again. You look up the actress and you look through her other movies and you see that she's been in some other PG-13 or even R-rated movies, and you download those and you watch those, and accidentally you see more lovemaking scenes and more toplessness. Or you start looking for cosplays of one of the characters in those movies and accidentally you stumble across not safe for work cosplays. You know what I mean? You always have like the plausible deniability of being able to say, oh, but I wasn't looking for porn. I just kind of accidentally keep finding it. That is the work of your addict self trying to sneak porn back into your life. You'll always have some excuse ready, like, oh, I'm just a fan of this actress, or I just really like this movie, and oh, I didn't mean to find this. But if it keeps happening, you know what's going on. Because you may say these things, but the real reason you're going on this whole search is because you want more, more, more. And sooner or later, that is going to lead you back into a full-on porn binge and you're back to square one. So we can turn this into a rule, if you like, which is that if you deliberately seek out sexually stimulating stuff, that is a relapse. Which means, again, if you went to the movie with your friends, you didn't know the scene was going to happen, it happens, that's not a relapse. But everything that happens afterwards, going to search for it again, going to search for more, that's a relapse. So that would be the rule you can follow. But your most powerful tool here is awareness. Develop the awareness of when it is your addict self who's in charge and trying to make you relapse. Develop the awareness to notice and catch yourself making these excuses before you fall down a rabbit hole. The better you get at this, the more you can catch your addict self before he pulls you back in, and the better you are at that, the easier it will be to stay porn-free. Do you have any more questions about what is or isn't a relapse? Let me know by leaving a comment below. And if you want to learn the best strategies for quitting porn and coping with withdrawals, check out the first link in the description, which goes to my free Discord community.